Do you have any idea who else is coming down here?
No, thought there'd be, some more people from the public here.
Sure, office, so.
Ottawa.
Always where you're
Yeah.
at, okay.
Yeah, because I had asked the DeKalb County engineer, I thought he was coming,
I got Shabbona and I got.
but he's not here yet.
6 o'clock.
And
Okay.
site in-
And, Gene Larson, I talked to him, he said, well, it depends on where I'm at with the crops.
So,
Yeah, he's probably,
James
yeah.
Big Phillips.
Is it Honey Otis?
Is that,
Yeah, they're
Illinois
at a
23
son's
and
basketball
Stearns.
game, or,
Okay.
So it's right on the DuPage County.
so they're probably not here, probably
Yeah.
we got everybody here that's gonna come. Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order. First of all, we have to talk about a winter festival before I get to you guys.
We can skip and do the signage first.
We'll do the signage first,
Yep, except for additions to agendas next.
okay? Addition to the agenda, anybody got any? No? Approval of the agenda?
Get an extra agenda.
On the wall.
On the wall, yeah.
I'll motion to approve the agenda. I almost laid them out, I should have.
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, nobody here for public comment. We'll jump right into the, signage. Amanda, what, you asked what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, I got a list here, businesses, business opportunities for Village of Shabbona.
Mm-hmm.
Directional signs to the state park off of US 30, because the state park entrance is about two and a half miles maybe? Or
Yeah.
is it that
But
long?
isn't there a sign there now?
There is, but you can't, nobody ever pays any attention to it. It's
Okay.
past the, where you turn,
Mm-hmm.
and as you come into town on US 30, I don't know, you're probably not really familiar with the town, but there's an east side and there's a west side.
Yes.
If you come in from the east side, like you're coming from Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
the first sign you see about the state park is not till you're all the way through the town, down to the Casey's General Store.
Yes.
And, most of the people that come from Chicago, they make the turn on the Indian Road. They never go through town.
Mm-hmm.
So we want some way of advising them what the town could offer or would offer, in addition to, how to get to the park.
Okay.
And then once you get down by the park, then we have a golf course, which nobody knows unless they accidentally drive past it. But there's no signs about the golf course much anywhere.
Yeah, the golf course we do not sign unless it's open to the public.
Okay.
It is.
It is open to the public, okay.
Yeah.
Because if you have to be a member, then we don't, sign for those. The golf course, we could do a TAD sign for that. That'd be off of 30, directing them to turn down whichever road you want it to.
Okay.
Um,
And then, as you go down, the road there, where we're talking about a golf course, to the east of the golf course is a big county forest preserve, which is really nice for people to picnic in. They got shelters there and stuff.
mm,
But there's no signage or, nothing there for them, which is probably off your state route.
yeah, it's off by state route.
Yeah.
We can do a sign for, like Shabbona State Park. Also say something park underneath it, but it'd still be all the way down by that Casey's,
Yeah.
directing them down that road.
And then on the west side of town, when people are going eastbound,
Mm,
about a mile or so out of town, US 30 curves and goes to the north.
mm,
And there's a lot of people, that live out west or come from the west, know that they don't have to go up that curve. They just go straight ahead on Preserve Road to get to the park. But there's no sign that says that. And there's no sign that says, the Village of Shabbona is, only a mile and a half down the road. There's the Screamers. We've got Casey's, we've got a BP. We've got things to offer the public, and a lot of people in the public don't know
yeah.
what it is.
There should be a sign, I believe, off of 39 saying Shabbona so many miles ahead.
Yeah.
They have at least that, but yeah, closer to town, there's not much we can do other than your town name sign, which
Now, can we put signs up there though? If we put them up?
Like what type of sign are you thinking?
And
like,
you know,
you could do-
golf course 2 miles ahead?
You, that could be a TOD sign again.
What sign?
TODs, tourist orientated directional signage.
Okay.
TODs.
Okay,
Sure.
now I know.
Yep, so that's a TOD sign, but again, it would have to be off whatever road, Alpha 30, so you can't have it like so many miles ahead and then to the right. It would have to be,
It's about 2 miles.
yeah, it would have to be at that crossroad. 'Cause I'm just trying to think of what signs you could put, like I said, leading up to say ahead.
Yeah,
There's
and-
not much you can do, other than like a wayfinding sign you could put up.
yeah, explain what a wayfinding sign is.
So you already have some up here, or in town, where it just says like Village of Shabbona, and then underneath it has like town hall, shopping, and things like that. An example is kind of like this here. This is from the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. And this shows all the requirements for a wayfinding sign. And like the bottom there is an example of something that you
Yeah.
would have.
Well, that's some stuff I think we'd be interested in. You wanna take a look at those signs? Well, we're just starting out here. We're kinda
Yeah.
doing our baby steps.
Yep, so you could put something like that with the up arrow, saying that it's leading to town. We like to keep it within a half mile though of your village limits. Which again, that saying it's 2 miles pushes the limit of how far from town you can have those signs.
Okay. And what about, at our last meeting, one guy had a question about private property versus
Yes,
state property.
you can put them on private property. There's no regulation, other than it can't mimic a street sign or like a stop sign. It can't be the red color, and it can't look like a sign, official sign.
There's no guidelines like size wise.
No, it's whatever the county's ordinance is.
The county ordinance.
Yes, because you'd be outside the municipal limits. Like if you're inside the municipal limits, it's whatever your ordinance.
And what if you're inside the village limits? Then it's
Yes,
by the
then-
village?
Yeah, that'd be village. But if you're beyond that, because it sounds like you're beyond that, where you're trying to get people to go straight.
Yeah, that place, but you know,
Yeah,
I'm doing east and west at the same time here. I probably should concentrate on one or the other.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, so one direction, yeah, you can have it, if you're in the village limits, it's regulated to what the MUTCD requires or limited to. But if it's on private property, it can be bigger and different.
Yeah. And then the biggest issue probably that we are facing is that at his great park out there, Shabbona Park,
Mhm.
we'll get, the numbers vary, but somewhere around 400,000 people a year.
Mhm.
We see maybe 2/10 of that
Mhm.
for the whole year. We need to come up with some way of encouraging those park employees or letting the park visitors
Mhm.
know what Shabbona has to offer. We got a Casey's, we got a VP, we got a laundromat that hopefully we're up and going again,
Mhm.
and, a tavern and things like that.
Yeah.
Hairdressers, I don't think there's a barber currently in town, but
Yeah,
is there? Oh, okay. But there are little things that they could use. We got a great historical society
Mhm.
that's just full of history about Chief Shabbona and his, the Potawatomi tribe. That would be a wealth of knowledge for, somebody out camping and they want to learn
Yeah.
about Native Americans or learn about Shabbona.
And that's why I think, what's the road that the state park's on? What's
Preserve Road.
Preserve Road?
Yeah.
mhm.
I feel like you would need something on Preserve Road and whoever maintains that to lead them towards Shabbona.
Yeah, we've got a real nice library if they want to rent a book for the weekend to sit, in front of their tent and read a book for the week.
Mhm.
Restaurant. You can
Yeah.
go down there and get.
And those could be, like I said, on the wayfinding sign.
Do you have an example of what a wayfinding sign is?
That's this one here. That was like it's at the bottom of the page there. So those would be green, or you can color code them and lead them throughout your town, like in different districts. So you're not that large of a
Do
town.
they come in different sizes or they're all
Yes.
one size?
Yes, they can be different sizes. It's up to 20 square feet, which is massive. Because you only need a 4-inch text.
Okay,
That's the speed limit.
so go back to step one, how do we do it?
So for the wayfinding signs, that's just a approval from IDOT if you want it on Route 30. And it's just a form that you fill out. It is 1 page right here. You just say where you want to place it and how big it is, and a picture or mock-up of what it's gonna look like.
Yeah, I've seen these forms before.
Yep, and then you install it, and maintain it. And IDOT just gives permission for you to put it out there.
Okay,
But it cannot have a business on it. It can have like a general like shopping, but it can't say Max Diner or something like that.
that's on a wayfind.
Yes,
But there could be a sign that would say, Charlie's Cafe.
no, it couldn't have Charlie's Cafe. If it was, it would have to be on private property, and then that would be a advertising sign, and you have to get approval down in Springfield for that. If it's in front of Charlie's Cafe, and it's Charlie's Cafe is not on that property. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that was brought up about whether a sign on private property is regulated the same way as a sign that's on
It is
state
still,
right away.
it is still regulated. Like I said, if the property owner doesn't own that, or doesn't own the business and the business is not there at that location, it does need to have an advertisement permit, and that's down in Springfield. That, again, has different regulations, and I'm not the one who approves that.
See, we're gonna be looking at your state highway regulations,
Mm,
the township regulations,
Yep.
the village regulations,
mhm.
and it's a nightmare.
It is. Though they all tend to be similar, the least. A lot of it is based on, like I said, this chapter I printed out here of the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. That is a general guideline that most municipalities base their rules on.
Okay. And then, of course, we have the state park, which is a fourth identity that can or can't allow particular signs.
Yes.
You guys got any questions?
The question that I had mainly was, I don't know what they're called, but off of highways, they'll typically have like a sign that says attractions, and then has a list of attractions.
Yes, those are only off the interstate.
Okay,
And
are we too far away from the interstate? to
yeah,
do
it
that?
has to be within 5 miles, and I think you're 7.
Okay,
So
can we pick up Shabbona and move it 2 miles closer?
I wish.
But you said there is a sign off 39 for sure.
Yeah, there is a sign on 39, or on 30 and 39 that says Shabbona so many miles ahead. And
Okay.
then I forget, it might even have the next one town
Would,
so far.
and we would not be able to have any kind of wayfinding or anything like that on that sign?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, because you usually have to be within half mile of your municipal limits.
Okay.
Can you regulate advertising signs? How, just on the right of way or,
Yeah, there's no advertising signs allowed on the right of way.
okay, and then where do you regulate them then? Do you regulate them on private property?
Yes, IDOT does on private property, along the state highway. That would then be down in Springfield's approval. And I can send Clint the email address and who you'd have to contact down in Springfield for that.
Is there a certain distance off the highway that they're not regulated, or if you
No,
can see them from the highway, they're
yeah,
regulated?
if you can see them, they're regulated.
What about this? I would call it more of an informational sign.
Mhm.
Like the fishing lake out here at one time was really, really good.
Mhm.
And at that time, it was known as the muskie capital of Illinois, which it probably still, technically is, because no other states ever had more than two. Or more than one, I think, and we've had 4. How could we properly display that sign, Shabbona Lake, home of 4-state record muskie?
That, I think, would be like an award sign that you can, again, just do that special sign permit for. So usually with most award signs, they're limited to 1 year. But that one I would have to look into a little more to see where you could put it up
Yeah,
or stuff. Because like, because I think you have it right now, FFA sign for somebody. So it's similar to that program. You could put up a sign saying Muskie Capital of the World this year.
Yeah, you guys approved the FFA.
Yeah, and we approved that. So,
Same
That's only a
coloring and
one-year
everything
deal.
as the
Yeah.
FFA, the green and white,
yep,
same specs.
but that's only a 1-year deal?
yeah, it's usually only a 1 year deal because usually the awards are for 1 year. Like, for that, I would push for your representative to kind of push on IDOT to say, hey, we have this award, we want to place it. Because certain other awards, like governor's awards, a tree capital of the world, or a state awards and things like that, if the representative pushes on IDOT, we'll put up this, or we'll allow you to put up a sign saying that. And within your limits.
So we gotta play those politics. Huh?
Yes.
But if it's on private property and we wanted something like that, it's not an advertisement.
Yeah,
we won't be
that,
allowed to do
yeah, you're allowed to do that.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't look like the award sign that
No, it can still look like it.
still looks the same, okay.
Could we, for our golf course and restaurant that's out there,
Mhm.
could we have a sign on 30, which should be
Yes.
2 miles away?
Just show up.
Yes, you could have that.
He delivered it at 2:30.
That again, like I said, would be
Yeah.
the tourist oriented directional signs. And that again, that usually gets approved through Springfield, and that's this application here.
And that's the town sign. you're talking
Yep.
about. Yeah. I've got most of this stuff for now already.
Yeah.
Do you have an example of a Todd sign?
Trying to think what's over here. Yeah, because it's the blue sign. I don't know if you ever seen like a blue sign saying like, I think there was one up here, Donnie's Appleseed, or Donnie's Appleseed, orchard. And it's a blue sign. It has the name, the distance it is, an arrow, and then depending on if it's open certain times of the year, the months it's open. Let me see if I can pull
I
it.
imagine
It's like a John Mack sign or
Okay.
Woody's
Winery
sign.
sign.
one,
Yeah.
Just north of here.
Yeah, or maybe Woody's. Let's see.
These good examples? What you're
Yes, that
Okay.
is.
Okay. So the Todd sign, what are the limits on that?
It could be any business. Actually, can I see that application again? So it's any business. It has to be open, depending on what it is. Like general tourist attraction, it needs to be open a minimum of 5 days a week. And minimum of open 6 months of the year. And that's part of the application process. It has a table that shows what is required for each thing. Like food, 5 days a week, needs to be open on a Saturday or Sunday, and again, open a minimum of 6 months of the year. And have a health department certification, and a public restroom and phone. A public phone, just so you know, if you see that ever, is just a phone that they can use for call emergency. It doesn't have to be like a pay phone or anything like that.
And those signs,
Mhm.
you would pay a fee,
Yes,
and then would IDOT install them?
yes, IDOT would install those signs.
Okay.
And the fee is $70 a sign, and usually there's 2 signs, so it's $140 a year.
I got you.
What's the distance on, that a sign can be from its location? What I'm thinking about is, you come out of Chicago, and 30, meets the tollway, as you come on out, goes around the south, and 30 comes into it.
I believe it's a 2.5 mile to 5 mile limit.
Oh, yeah, it's way farther than that, yeah.
Yes.
That'd be a great sign, great place to put a sign, straight ahead, Shabbona State Park.
Mhm.
Can the same business or attraction have multiple of these?
Yes.
Okay.
So they're not limited to one location.
Correct. Trying to think. There's one, there's I think it's a brewery in DeKalb that has 4 sets of signs, cause it's kind of between 2 state highways. Cause PAD sign cannot be for something that's on a state route. It has to be, you have to lead them away from the state route. Does that make sense?
Okay, everything in Shabbona is on state
State
route.
route. So that's the
Except the
problem.
park, yeah.
The park's not.
The park's
right?
not.
Okay.
But if it's like, it's the back door, pick the front door of the alley, then it'd be leading away from it.
Okay.
So that's one issue, that we run into, is everything's on the state route, so nothing really qualifies. But the state park, the golf course, for instance, would qualify.
Okay.
So what would you recommend we do? We should know a little bit of background.
It's a tough one. I would think I would approach a someone private property that's in the area that you want the sign, and go through Springfield and try to get like a wayfinding sign over on private property.
Well, I'm talking about the basics. What do you think, what kind of sign do you think we need? Color, size, directional, non-directional, informational, non-informational?
I think a basic wayfinding sign, or a simple one would be also just your town name sign or town sign
Yeah,
that just leads you into town, like Shabbona with an arrow. Something as simple as that.
but not a billboard type thing.
Not a billboard.
So we could list one on a billboard, then we put individual signs.
A billboard wouldn't be allowed along the state
State
road.
road, correct. Would have to be on private property.
Could you have a billboard on private property along the state route?
Yes, but that would be through Springfield for their approval.
And do the signs need to come from the state sign shop or
No,
no?
no, you would actually provide those signs.
What's a good dimension for a sign to be seen by somebody going down the road?
The good dimension is, again, in that, the MEPCB, page, it shows the minimum height for, text height for based on the speed. And it's usually 3 inches, we like to do 4, 55, it's up to 5 inches tall for people to see. And then it's just how many words you want to put on there determines how big of a sign you're going to put up.
Okay.
So we do not, IDOT does not like having more than 6 locations listed in this, like a wayfinding sign, because then you get too busy and people are reading it too much and not paying attention to driving.
Makes sense. Any other questions, by anybody? No? You got anything there?
I was just curious about the village limits signs, like, what can or can't you do with that sign?
That sign, right now it's just the population board sign, but they can install any type of sign they want. Again, that's a municipal specialty sign, that permit, and that just has to be a breakaway design. I think it's 40 square feet, how big it is, or 35, it's 40 or 35. And, they can put that up, but it has to be like at the limits, village limits. So they can put up a big sign and have like a little catchphrase underneath it or what they want.
Yeah, so you could, but you can't promote
It can have,
a specific business,
yeah,
right?
can't have a specific business, can't have phone numbers on it. It can be lit, but not with, flashing LED. Can't be like a changeable message sign look to it, or digital.
And they're in IDOT's right away, right?
Yes, those can be in IDIs right away.
So you could have a sign that said Shabbona in the population and then Muskie, capital of Illinois or something?
Yes,
It has to be at or in the village limits, or
correct.
it can be outside the village limits so far, or,
I'd like to be at the village limits.
okay.
Which is where the population signs
Yes.
should be right now,
Yes.
but one's not.
Oh, one's not? Okay.
No. it isn't.
I can relocate that. Which one is it?
The east end,
East. Okay.
West End isn't either. It's-
so both ends.
The village limits have changed. Probably since,
If you could send me an email on that, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Is IDOT responsible for the population signs?
Yes. So we can relocate those.
Okay.
And you have the option of keeping the population signs and having your town name sign anywhere you want as well. It just has to be at the limits or within your limits. Can't claim somebody else's area.
Got it.
You know, one thing I thought would be neat to have, and I don't know how we'd ever do it, is a large aerial photograph of the area,
Mm-hmm.
you know, from up above.
Yep.
Down showing the lake and the forest preserve, the golf course, the town. That would be a neat picture. But how we'd ever display it where somebody, you know, going by at 55 miles an hour is gonna be able to read it or see it.
No. Yeah, I'm not sure how you would show that one.
Unless we showed it right, as they come out of the park, they have to turn left or right. If we had a big picture sign there, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any regulations really on pictures
Yeah.
and signs.
but that wouldn't be along the state route, so you
Yeah,
wouldn't have any jurisdiction over it.
yeah, I wouldn't have anything, but like I said, I'm just thinking in general, I haven't seen anything that says they restrict what type of picture or maps you can show.
That'd be where you'd have to have your billboard. I mean, it'd have to be that big to
Yeah,
see it in the car.
Oh, yeah, that'd be huge, you know.
When you leave the park, we have a big wave-bearing sign across
mm-hmm.
in village easement.
Yes. So that's allowed.
But that would give a tourist, you know, some choices of things to do or
Mm-hmm.
places to go or whatever. We do have a town park we're in the process of making, an area where there's a basketball court, a small auditorium. They're doing volleyball and that kind of stuff there now. What else you guys got planned for Purdy Park?
I don't think we have any plans for Purdy Park.
I thought you took it over.
Are the little
We can
brown
take it over.
signs like we have for Purdy Park in the village offices as big as those can be?
Yes. Well, it's 3-inch text, so I don't know what those are.
Well, they're all fairly
Small.
small.
Yeah, so I think that's
That's probably
about right.
bigger, but they look like this big when you're driving by.
Yes. Yeah, I think those are about right.
Okay. I know the village did the application for them, so.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have any jurisdiction over signs in the park per se.
No. That would be all on.
That would be all in the park.
Yep.
And are there forms for signs in the park, or does Denny just check with you, or does he check with?
Well, it starts with me, and then it gets escalated to, some different people have to put eyes on it. at the regional level, but also at the statewide level, the Springfield level, from our communications team. There's a landscape architect that's gonna get a chance to take a look at it and see it and things like that. We have some things we're open ears for sure. We're absolutely open ears. We'll listen to any idea, no doubt about it. We do have some, things that we can do and things we can't, for sure. Primarily to do with, we have a concessionaire who has a contract with IDNR, and we don't wanna compete with them with any signage. So that's.
So you wouldn't have a sign in the park directing somebody to a restaurant in town then?
No, because we have a concession in the park, that's correct. The firewood sales would be another example.
What if the concessionaire was okay with it?
Well, like I said, I'm willing to take any idea to our communications team and to some of our regional staff that'll get a chance to look at it. And if they sign off on it, it's a go. There's no doubt about it.
Adam and Jessica are really, enthused about we might be able to do something. So that's encouraging.
So,
And so it's in Gene at the golf course. He's enthused, that we may get him some more customers or whatever.
so within their Adam and Jessica's camp store that they operate within the park, or the bait shop that they have within the park, or the restaurant that they have within the park. Example, on the menu, like you see advertisements for, a laundromat or whatever else. That's,
That could be done.
I'm not gonna say it could be done, but it might be more, it might be, received a little bit better.
Well, we don't want to create any competition like between the golf course restaurant and their restaurant.
Nor do we.
Yeah.
We don't wanna
so
do that either.
We're still working that.
That's exactly,
Yeah.
it's kind of
That's what you're talking about.
where I'm coming from too, is we don't wanna create competition for.
But the more we all work together, the
Our-
more it's all gonna work.
Sure. I think that Adam and Jessica signing off on that type of thing would be helpful, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I just talked to them a few hours ago, and they're all for us investigating this. Okay, anything else?
Not from here.
Okay, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Well, I wanted to add, in terms of the library and the museum, if they're not for profit, that's gonna be probably a little bit different and probably easier to do, like posting, we have informational bulletin boards and different things in the campground, at the restaurant, different areas in the park. Boat Launch has another one.
So you're saying there's a possibility that we could put a sign about the town museum
Sure.
or the library?
Since they're not for profit, absolutely, that's,
Okay, that's good.
that's definitely,
That's good
I'd
knowledge.
say that'd be reviewed at little bit of different eye than, promoting a business per se.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in business today, it's not for profit.
Not to say that IDNR doesn't wanna promote the partnership with the community, because, we do. And I think word of mouth is strong within the park. I think there's a lot of people that'll say, the cafe in town's really good.
Yeah.
Or there's a Casey's right up there. I know that people know about Casey's. I pick up trash in the park all the time. People know about Casey's. There's no doubt about it. They know about Casey's.
Yeah.
But
What about like a laundromat?
I don't know.
Every time it rains, people that are camping, they get wet. They like to do their clothes before they go home.
And we don't have, we don't have washer or dryers or anywhere in the park or anything like that, so, again, the communication team and the marketing folks and different things like that who are responsible in IDNR for signage within IDNR, they'll have a chance to look at whatever's proposed.
Now, how many signs are too many signs? I give you an example. We're coming from the west, going east. There's a road that, US 30 curves and goes north a little bit, that's Preserve Road.
Mhm.
If we had signs there, telling them about whatever in town, or the golf course, or whatever, then you go on down the road to get into the village of Shabbona, which is about a little over a mile probably. Could we have the same set of signs there too?
You could, the catch is though, you can't have more than, the signs have to be at least 100 feet apart.
Okay, yeah, this is way more than 100 feet.
Yeah, but, especially, we like to keep them about, yeah, so you get, start having too many signs. When you get more than 400 feet from the intersection, you're like, turn here, and you're like, they're gonna start turning into people's driveways, cause they're not following the signs, cause they're too spaced out. So we like to keep usually about no more than 3 signs per like an intersection. Like I said, space them out and not overwhelm the driver.
Okay. So maybe a last question for you. Where do we start?
Where do you start? I think the town name sign might be a good option for you there. Like I said, getting a nice sign mocked up for you. That would you have to reach out to a designer for, unless you want just a simple metal sign. And even then, it'd still be a designer.
Okay. But what else, as far as businesses?
For the businesses, yeah, I don't know where you would start from there. I think that's up to you guys.
Okay. I'm not gonna put you on the spot. But thank you for coming.
Yep,
You came from Rockford?
Ottawa.
Ottawa. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Ottawa. Yep. Her territory goes clear up to Galena.
Well, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 counties, so
Yeah.
too busy.
Well, thank you. If you ever need anything for us, I'll write a good letter for you.
Thank you, and then here's my card if you need anything else.
Okay.
You have
Thank
another
you.
card?
Yeah. Oh, I got it. There you go. Thank you.
Okay, well, Derek, if you could hang around here a little bit and we'll
Sure.
talk about the park.
Absolutely.
What your expectations are for the year, how things are going out there. We don't want to at all
Thank
get
you,
into
Amanda.
Thank you.
Amanda, can I ask you one more
Sure.
question that's completely not
I'll
unrelated
wait
to
for
this?
this.
Sure.
Sure.
Can we have ankle parking?
30?
Yeah.
Yes, that's all up to you guys, parking. It just
I got
depends on
told us
how,
we couldn't because it's not wide enough.
yes, that's the next thing, depending on how the depth's there.
How wide is it gonna be?
It's not wide enough.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Because if you have parallel parking right now, it's probably not, it's only 8 feet. For angle parking, it's, I think 16.5 feet deep.
Okay. You need 16.5 feet for the parking space, or?
Yeah, deep for the parking space.
Okay, and how wide?
That's
is
what I
the-
mean, like wide.
How wide does the road need to be then?
The road needs to have at least 12-foot length.
12 foot.
Yes.
Okay, that is very helpful information, thank you.
Yes,
And it has to be 17.
and a half feet. Don't quote me on that one though. But I believe it's 17.5 for angle. It's 20 feet for angle, 90-degree parking.
Okay.
So it's less than 20.
Okay,
Okay,
alright, thank you.
no problem.
Okay, like I mentioned earlier, Derek is here. Talk a little bit about the park and how we can get, or continue the great, relationship between the town and the village. That's very important, and, years ago, we had a lot more publicity angles that were going on than what we do now. We used to do fishing seminars in Rockford, Chicago, the O'Hara Show, just, you name the college, whether it's junior college or four-year college, we were there doing seminars about fishing out here. That kind of stuff has kind of gone by the wayside, but we still could have somebody, write articles about fishing conditions or how to catch crappie and Shabbona compared to other lakes because it's different structure you're fishing. and internet articles and pictures and stories, will help bring people out. A big fish is occasionally caught, helps too. I don't know how it happened, but somehow in my mail, I get a remembrance of pictures that I took on that particular day. So I've got a couple thousand fish pictures caught on, you name the day of the week. There's a guy standing there holding a fish. But that kind of stuff, that, if we got it on the internet and people run into it, they're going to want to go check that lake out. Because the internet is amazing as far as the draw it makes. And the campground, it's just a beautiful campground out there. It can't be any nicer with the yacht. And you replaced all the outhouses this year.
Yeah.
So that was a big project.
Yeah. That was exciting to have.
Gonna get it done before it freezes?
It's done, the vault toilets are done.
Oh, okay.
They're done and they're open, so.
They're putting the new boat launch in.
Now we're doing a new boat launch. We started that, the Tuesday after Labor Day. We closed the main boat launch. They started with a couple of, I guess, smaller areas. They did some walk work down in the campground by the camp store. And then at Somonauk Point, they installed a sidewalk from the parking lot down to the shoreline, and there'll be a dock installed there that'll have a kayak launch from Somonauk Point. There's never been any sort of boat launching structure or walkway from the parking lot and things like that at Somonauk Point. And then those two projects those two parts of the project are completed. And yesterday, they closed the main boat launch, and that's closed now for the rest of the month. We put October 31st on the sign. That's subject to, weather and all the, things like that. And, but that's the date we have on it right now, that the main launch is closed the 14th through the 31st, opening back up on November 1 with a brand new boat launch. And then on both sides of it, there's walkways on both sides of the main launch. That's going to have new walkways that are, ADA accessible and different things like that. So it's been a really good project for us. We're very excited to do it.
Yeah, that's about time they did those porta potties, that's for sure.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's a long time coming, no doubt about it.
Yeah. And the bridge on the main road, that needs to be replaced sooner than later. I know.
The main road I know is in conversation, in terms of paving work there. No known, dates, but it's in the mix with a lot of projects statewide. There's, IDNR has a ton of projects. As is the electric in the campground is another one that's at least, these are major projects that are in the conversation for the site. And it's, I do my absolute best, as does my supervisor on the regional level, to keep those in the conversation, to keep the park up to date.
Yeah, we were out there,
We go to
what,
bat
Saturday
all
we
the
were
time.
out there getting those bass?
Friday.
Friday,
Yeah, Friday.
825 smallmouth bass.
Yeah.
Went in the lake Friday.
In addition to 17,000 bluegill last week. So we were excited about that. So, but yeah, we're doing our best to keep the park, going as with the, IDNR's, there's a backlog of projects, there's no doubt about that, but we do our best to get every project we can, get them funded and get them going, absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing what you guys do out there with just a short staff. Yeah.
It is, we do, we're real grateful for our dedicated staff. One of them lives here in Shabbona and has for many, many years, and so we're happy to, they get after it every single day. So we're very fortunate for that.
Do you have any questions for Derek?
I don't know if this is in your purview whatsoever, but does the DNR have an agreement with the tribe now?
The agreement is in the drafting process, that's where, that conversation is.
What is the expectation for how long DNR is gonna continue to administrate the park?
I don't have information on that.
It'll be 3-4 years yet before it's completely turned over.
I don't have those conversations with the Potawatomi and IDNR. They're not happening at the site level. That I know for sure. And I've been, I guess, told that when there is a draft of the land management agreement, that I'll have a chance to review it, as will many, many other people, but that I'll be included in that opportunity to review.
Okay.
And things like that, but I haven't seen anything yet at all.
Is there an expectation that, like, this draft is gonna come in months, or I don't know how long we're talking, we could be talking 10 years from now, we have a
It
draft.
could be,
So
yeah, I really don't have a feel for that,
Okay,
yeah.
It's never happened before, so they don't know their timetable.
alright.
You have anything, Frank?
No, I think pretty well got everything. That was my question. I wondered what the state park and the tribe had going.
Right, yeah.
And apparently the state's still spending money out there.
Well, you can see the projects that are out there, and there's no doubt about it.
Do you have an idea how much those projects are worth now?
The boat launch project, boat launch project is, the bid was awarded at $495,000. And, there's been a couple of change orders. So that will raise the price slightly, but I wouldn't say, maybe up towards, you could just say $500,000 and call it a very good estimate on there. The vault toilets, that project was, closer to $1 million, so it was 900,000 or something like that. What's that?
Is there a project for a new maintenance shed out there?
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope there is.
That's been in the works too for
That's been in the
15
works
years.
for many, many years, and the boat launch project, to your point, Denny, that boat launch project was originally funded and approved to start are two very, very different things. But it's been funded since 2012. So that project, and the same thing with the vault toilets. These projects go back 10, 12 years sometimes. And they get, they get funded, but then that, it's just kind of the way the state works, I guess you could say, that the funding has to be approved, per se.
The maintenance building, my understanding, was out for bid, is that correct?
Yes, that's exactly right.
So from that point, once it's out for bid, is it a go to get it done, or?
It's really close, yeah. The contracts need to be signed. That's gonna be so there's a bid, right? Well, if none of the bids come in, for a city street or whatever it is, if all your bidders are way too high for your budget, the project's not gonna go. So those bids have to be combed through by IDNR staff, engineering, and different things, and they have to make sure that it's a qualified bidder. They have to be sure that it's, that everything that is included in the bid is going to be met by the contractor and all those different things. and for the right, within the budget or, different things like that, or allocate more funds, whatever those things look like.
So is that project funded?
Yes,
It is funded.
it has to be funded to go for
To
bid.
go to bid. So I would imagine that's another pretty big,
Yes.
money-wise, probably $500,000 or.
No, that'll be, I believe it's actually over 2 million.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Because there's some nice things with that project. There's some, there's solar involved and there's, some different things like that. So. I know that they had the bid opening, they're reviewing the bids, and that, the signature process and different things like that, contractors and things like that, that can be, a 60-day, that can be a 60-day process, 60 to 90 probably.
So it probably won't start this year then.
Well, part of it depends on the contractor. If they get the award, then what's their availability, and, but so I know a lot of contractors, they love to get in there, they love to get whatever dirt work done they can and try to get some concrete poured yet in the fall, even if they're using blankets to keep the concrete warm while it sets. And then if they can get some walls up, then they can work inside all winter. I know a lot of contractors that love to do that, and part of it depends on who gets the award and what their schedule looks like and different things like that.
Thank you.
Sure. But for me, I'm hoping very much that that's a go.
We got anything else? Motion to adjourn?
No, we got.
No, we still gotta talk about the Winter Festival.
We gotta talk
Oh,
about
Winter
it.
Festival, forgot about that, yep, sorry about that. Yeah, are we ready to switch over then? Okay, thanks.
Sure. No, thanks for the invite.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be talking to you.
Yeah,
Nice
let
to
me
meet
know
you.
good to meet all of you, absolutely.
Do you happen to have a business card on you?
I don't, I can, Denny, if I get information to you, you could pass information out to
Oh,
the
sure,
rest of
Sure,
the
Denny can be your point of contact. Yeah.
committee. Sure.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we can, happy to get out there. And get my information out there, I just don't have business cards yet.
Thanks for all you do out there.
Well, thank you, yeah, no, thanks for the opportunity, however we can work together.
Well, yeah, the town and the park gotta work together.
Sure,
We can do so much for each other.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, so,
We gotta get back on track.
yeah, I think there's some good ideas out there,
Mhm.
I've always wondered if somebody wanted to deliver food into the park.
Oh,
For the campers,
yeah,
something like that.
well,
Is there?
Oh.
Well, hold on. You just piqued my interest. Is there anything that prevents someone from doing that right now? Is there like a?
Distance from, but no, I mean, if Uber or whoever,
I'm just
Uber-
wondering if that violates some kind of regulation or.
With your agreement with Honey Otis.
I really don't think it, again, I guess we would wanna run it by them. But I'm not sure that if you could, prevent like a hotel that has, let's say, a restaurant in the front of it, as an example, I don't know that you could stop a food delivery service from coming in there, I'm not, but yeah, I'm just saying.
You're not endorsing it, but.
No,
That'd be
but
worth-
by way of having a conversation of
That would be
ideas,
worth knowing. I mean, if
or,
we're looking for business in town, maybe a pizzeria or a little Italian restaurant that delivers.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I do not want to step on Adam and Jessica's toes, because we have a great relationship with them, and we definitely want to continue that.
he's a good guy.
They're great for
Very
our
good
site, they do a great job with what they do. And they, you know, they bring knowledge about that restaurant operations, they bring knowledge about the bait shop and different things like that, you know, to the fishermen that get them out there.
So, yeah, he does a great job.
We definitely want to promote that, there's no doubt about that. So, but I, you know, it's just something I want, I mean, you promote a library, is there a way to get, you know, like one of those, you know, like a little free library, you're familiar with those?
Yeah.
You know, something like that. Would you do one of those in the campground?
Or we could have somebody come in and give a talk on Chief Shabbona,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
you know, for entertainment for the campers.
Right.
Over, you know, campfire, and you talk about the good old days. Chief Shabbona and Pocono ran around together, in and out of their teepees.
Sure, you're the only one around that knows about that.
I met them.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah, so, no, ideas, I mean, we're all ears in terms of ideas, there's no doubt about that. There's definitely things that I think we can and can't do, but we're definitely all ears in terms of ideas.
But seriously, on my mother's side, her great, whatever number of greats would be, knew Chief Shabbona personally,
Oh, wow, yeah.
down by Seneca. And they're living down there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know.
Right.
Did your great whatever, did they write a memoir about it?
It's in my book,
Which book?
the Chief Shabbona book that I gave you.
It is?
Not the police book.
Probably the one you didn't read.
No, I read it.
I
Yeah.
didn't know you wrote a Chief Shabbona book.
Yeah.
I read the police book.
No, it's in there.
I'll reread it.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks, George.
yeah, thank you all, all right?
Have a good night.
Take care.
Okay, now we gotta talk about the winter festival. You guys gonna be available to be out and about that night? Usually it starts with what?
It's 3 to 6 on December 6th,
Yeah,
Saturday, the first Saturday.
sometimes it'll go a little bit longer than 6 inside the church. But Santa Claus comes, so you guys gotta be good that day or the day before.
Oh,
Don't want to end up on the wrong list.
Yeah,
Did we not change the hours of that for the,
That's the 3 to 6.
okay.
That was what
we
was
have a
voted
carriage, it gives people rides in a carriage.
mhm.
So that's kinda nice too.
on. So craft vendor fair in the church basement. Were you guys part of the board? No, you guys weren't on the board last year, sorry. I've already asked the church permission to use the church basement, also to use their kitchen and the Grace White Room. It's a room off the basement, it's in the basement still. Depending on how many craft vendors sign up, we can either have some seating area, it worked out well last year, to eat and visit in the church basement. We can also set up the Grace White Room for some seating. That was what was done last year. Previous years also had used the fire department and set up in there. Way too many spaces to have things going on.
Mhm.
So kind of drawing people into the church basement where they could shop the vendors. And then free popcorn. If Honey Otis's come, they usually do free hot chocolate and they have a cow or two with them
Mhm.
outside. And the village provides the free popcorn. And Building Shabbona Together usually pops it and hands it out, but someone else can do that. Pretty much it's been the village staff, the ladies have been the ones that have kind of done the setup and done the communications on the craft and vendor fair. So unless somebody else really wanted to do it,
Is that gonna be done
Angie and I
this year?
have no problem doing it.
If you guys want me to help, then I'm happy to help do it.
Earl Mayer, who did Santa last year, agreed to do Santa again this year. He's a local resident. And there may be a Mrs. Claus with him again this year.
Okay.
Last year, the Santa and the craft activities that the library hosts and does were all in the fire department administration building.
Mhm.
I'm thinking in the previous years, Santa has been in the depot, Lions Depot. And that works out well because we've gotten lucky and the weather's been good.
Mhm.
Kids are playing on playground equipment, even though it's a little darker, and kind of the library person said that they could do the crafts in the depot too, and then it's all right there. And it also allows the village to partner with the Lions Club and get the Lions Club's name on things.
Mhm.
So they could use all the advertising they could get.
Good idea.
So I can, I'll email Suzanne Aldi, who's now the president of the Lions, and get approval to use the depot. Pretty much then, otherwise it's outdoor decor. I talked to Public Works, they're gonna need to pull down and verify exactly what we have for decor, outside decor from last year. We know we have plenty of lights and solar lights. And there's some picture frames from Photo Opportunities, people actually used them, and some other things like that, but last year in the park, it said Happy Holidays and lights, I think it was wood with lights. Don't know if that was donated to the village by the person who made them all and put them up. So I've kind of asked the guys to figure out what exactly we do have. We have lots of lights. And kind of that week between Thanksgiving and the festival, everything gets put up. Outside stuff all gets done. The Friday before, the Friday the 5th, would be planning to set the tables up in the church basement. Anybody that could plan to come help do that in the morning or the afternoon. Well, the morning's the best because that's when the church office is open and we can get in and out. It takes like an hour. So, and then Public Works helps do all the lights and stuff. So unless somebody else wants to volunteer, but John's done it a couple of years now.
Yeah, if you guys could be there and help
But
carry the
kind of
boxes
just
down.
kind of putting that on the radar. So, and the day of, it's just kind of being present. The horse-drawn wagon, the Belgian horses, those are already reserved because they reached out because they hadn't heard anything by the beginning of October. And we've tried for the reindeer every year, but Randy Espy, they've been booked for that weekend for years, so nobody cancels to put us in. And then,
Sorry, go ahead.
sponsorships. Frank had me send out some requests in September. We received sponsorships totaling $350. First State Bank was $200. Resource Bank was $150. We have not had any response from the Prairie Band Potawatomi, Next Era, Fairgram, or Chastain. Next Era has never donated for it, so I'm trying. And the two engineering firms both donated last year, and the Potawatomi Nation donated. They actually covered the horses the previous year. So next step would be to send out local request letters. And that would be, I handed that out. What Angie and I would send out. Angie's gonna help do that. Is if anybody wanted to personally go hand them out or talk to people, they're welcome to. But we'll send them all out in the mail too and see what we can get. We're encouraging small businesses and nonprofits to sign up for a vendor table, the craft vendor fair, and advertise what they do and what they're there for. So see if we can get some representation that way. So it's a great way for different businesses to get their name out there. They don't have to sell anything. They can just be present and hand out business cards and let people know what they're about. And then food, beverage. All 4 years, 3 years previous, chili was made by Shabbona Cafe. And it's always been popular. Cafe charged $3 for a small cup. First 2 years, they provided somebody who served it and set it up. Last year, a trustee set it up and recruited people to help serve it. So this year, with new management, my thought is see if they're interested in making and donating it, or if they want to sell it, then they make it and provide the people to sell it. So it could be free if they donated it, or we can do a donation barrel.
But the cost them the same.
Maybe that'd be something Honey Otis's would be interested in.
Doing the chili?
Sure.
That's fine too.
Or maybe the new owners of Screamers, that's.
Well, they shut down in November, they're not reopening until March.
Well, doesn't mean they can't make chili and take it over there.
I'll ask Adam and Jessica first. Because they're on the list to ask if they'd be available. Depends on what their work schedules are. Last year we got lucky and they were both available. And then another thought is, don't need an answer on this. Do we have someone or organization get beverages to give out or sell? Take donations of beverages to give out or sell in the basement, water, soda. that night.
Did somebody do that last year?
No, but that was one thing that people were, I had a bottle of water with me and I kept getting asked where they could buy one. So that was a note I came away with, that people were looking for options other than hot cocoa.
Mhm. I wonder if like Lions Club would want to do that or something. Do a fundraiser for them or something.
I could do a by donation.
Yeah,
Maybe 4-H or something like that too.
yeah, or the Indian Creek Rec where here at the 4th of July, maybe they'd be interested in doing something too, because they had beverages there, I thought.
Good idea. That was my list. You guys have anything?
So is there anything in particular we need to be there to supervise? Or should we just be around?
It's kind of more of a just be around.
Okay.
You know, someone should touch base, you know, a couple times over in the depot, make sure everything's going okay, they don't need anything.
Sort of like we did, with the park down there.
Same thing with the.
I'm not gonna ask
It's
you to
much more
wear
laid
the
back than the 4th
No,
of July.
reflector sign,
I'm bringing the high vis vest.
Take a horse-drawn wagon ride and make sure they're doing okay and they don't need anything.
Mhm.
Their path is, they start at the corner by Joe Perkins Memorial Park by the well house there, and they go down Illini Street, down the alley behind the church, and come back out to Illini Street. One year we had them do it where they went to the alley behind Purdy Park in the fire department, but it gets too muddy.
Oh, yeah.
So even if if even just a little misty rain the night before, it's.
Is that right, free?
Yeah, it's free. It's $800 for for them to come, so that's where we're trying to get sponsorships to cover that.
Okay.
Mhm.
So,
We did approve monies for,
yes.
Do we have an estimate of how much we need to raise or fund for this?
Well, the board approved, you guys approved $2,000 budget. The goal is not to spend that much.
Yeah.
Last year, 2,000 was approved and the village spent $256. So, I need to get popcorn, which is like $50 for the popcorn maker. As of right now, that's the only thing on the to-do list to purchase. So hopefully we can get some more sponsors to help cover at least the cost of the horses. A little bit more would be good.
Where do those horses come from?
It's the Nielsen Belgians out of Waterman,
Out of water?
Phil Nielsen. So they're local too.
They bring the cart too?
Yeah, it's a family-run operation.
Anything else?
I don't have anything.
it's your turn again.
No. How about our audience? You got anything?
No.
Well, I motion to adjourn then.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Don't forget the meeting tomorrow night.
Yeah, back to back.
Amanda had given that one thing with the pictures.
And you're not here tomorrow night?